Hey everyone, bit of a different background today. I'm recording from Starbucks on the way to our office in St Albans, and my fellow Aussies don't criticise me for being in a Starbucks. I'm still getting in some good flat whites and long blacks at specialty coffee shops here in the UK. So this week, Microsoft made some massive announcements at the Enterprise Connect conference in Orlando, which is one of the big premier communication collaboration industry conferences that happens every year. And to say that they announced an absolute boatload of new features and capabilities and value is an absolute understatement. I mean, they really went all out here. So I wanted to share my 5 top takeaways from that based on value from a business point of view and what it means in terms of the intelligent workplace, digital teamwork, really across the board, and 5 things I think are big. So number one would be the growth numbers that Microsoft announced. The fact that they now said that over 500,000 organizations are using Microsoft Teams is an incredible milestone and massive validation for the value of using it as your hub for teamwork. The fact that 500,000 organizations are using it now, I think is just a huge achievement for them. And also that they shared that 150 organizations have 10,000 or more active users. Like, that is a massive achievement in its own right as well. And that means that there are some pretty big organizations out there now that are seeing a lot of value of consolidating all the things they work on with the people they work on into one single place. So if you're a big organization and you're considering or planning your rollout of Microsoft Teams, you know that you're going to be in good company there. And then finally, they've shared that 91 of the Fortune 100 are all using Microsoft Teams also. So another big validation that Microsoft Teams is really punching above its weight and really providing a lot of value for the enterprise there. Cool. Number 2 takeaway, content cameras and intelligent capture. And Microsoft demonstrated this where they pulled the curtain off of a old traditional analog whiteboard on stage, and then they shared how this is a common challenge within meetings today. And I think everybody has been exposed to this in any meeting when they're joined remotely. They're watching a video, and then people want to start to draw and ideate, and then jot down some ideas and things, and then they go to the whiteboard in the physical meeting room. And then if you're joined remotely, then you're usually excluded from that. The camera doesn't look at the whiteboard, and then you don't get that full experience. So now what they've demonstrated is the ability to put a content camera in front of the whiteboard, and then using AI, it intelligently captures the content of the whiteboard and then puts all the text and ink into the meeting itself. And when the PM for the meetings devices walked in front of the whiteboard, and then all the text was transparent over the back of him, I mean, that solves a massive problem and just makes the meeting experience so more inclusive for people. And then this demonstrates that Microsoft are thinking really hard about breaking down barriers, removing friction, and making meetings as inclusive for everybody, regardless of where they join from. Cool. Number 3, Microsoft announced that information barriers are coming soon to Microsoft Teams. And this is really, really important for industries like financial services, where they have to have like an ethical wall between certain parts of their organization. So one part of the organization can't talk to another because potentially they're working on the same client, and they don't want to be able to share information because that can be a conflict of interest. This is also very relevant in professional services, advisory and audit scenarios. So if you're a Big 4 consulting firm and one side of your organization is auditing the company, but then the other side of the organization is advising them on what they should do from a strategic business model perspective or their next move in the market, you don't want those two to talk to each other, because then that could start to break down that relationship and be problematic. In financial services, it's really important from a trading and an advisory and analyst point of view, where analysts or advisors are creating data and insights for the market of their clients. And if they pass that through to their trading arm, then that becomes a conflict of interest, and then that could lead to things like even like an insider trading violation. So being able to cut that down the middle there is really important. And Microsoft has said this will be provided for all features within Teams. So whether you're working in a channel or chat, anything where you've got 2 people and you want to put a barrier between them. Cool. Number 4 is the new calendar app that will come within Microsoft Teams. So it replaces the meetings icon in your left rail. And this is another step towards making Microsoft Teams that cloud operating system that I was talking about, where you don't have to go anywhere else to get your work done anymore. And what I find from a internal communication point of view is I don't use Outlook as much anymore, and I actually only have Outlook open to look at my calendar and see when my next meeting is. So now that that full calendar experience will sit within Microsoft Teams, there's one less thing that I need to use Outlook for. And so then my context is maintained, my attention stays within Microsoft Teams, and then I can work through there for the majority of my day. So I think that's a really good thing in terms of keeping people focused on the work that matters. And then the fifth big takeaway for me is Microsoft announced zero download for meetings in Chrome. So you could already do this to an extent, but you couldn't do a video call or share your desktop. So Microsoft announced that that's coming later on this year as well. So it means that if you're using Google Chrome, you can now join into a meeting. You don't have to download anything. You can see everybody. They can see you. You can share your desktop, and you get a pretty high fidelity meeting experience. So that is big from a friction point of view. So that means that if you send a Microsoft Teams meeting invite to anybody that's never used Teams before, they're a client, partner, external provider, anything like that, they can still get in the meeting really, really easily and have a great experience, and they don't have to default back to dialing in and sort of getting confused on who's using what or who's speaking. Cool. They're my 5 top takeaways. Hope they've been of use. I think there's a ton of tremendous value coming through from Microsoft Teams now. It's only going to get better from here. So hope it's been useful. Stay in touch. Comment below, like or share. And if there's anything you want to see covered on this Digital Teamwork TV series, then drop me a line. Thanks.